So routing analysis allows us to compare our actual times that we've recorded in the shop to our expected run times and setup times. So the way we get the actual times, of course, is use something like Shop Floor Insight, or manually enter the time, but manually entering the time is no fun. Use something like Shop Floor Insight to capture the actual times that we spend on production activities, and then we can use routing analysis to figure out what's going on with that. So when I open this guy up, much like the BOM viewer, we're not dealing with items here. We're dealing with routings, right? Routings and BOMs, not specific items. So I can come in here and I can say for a specific routing, like the sample one here, I'm going to do some analysis on that specific routing. Now this routing might apply to 10 different items, right? A lot of people have sort of semi-generic routings where it's the same item and they apply the same routing to the same item. And so this is looking at all of those individual items that this routing is applied to. Well, specifically, it's looking at all the production orders that have used this particular routing. So in my case, I've only got 2 production orders in the system for this time frame that I specified that have used that routing, and we can see our actual time to our expected time. So we've got a 1-hour runtime here, and we on average we're less than a quarter of an hour, so it gives us that difference. And by the way, we can filter that out, so you can say I only want to see things that are really out of whack, like show me anything that's more than 50% out. You can set that up, and it'll only show those. Now this is not good, right? If it's taking me a quarter of an hour to do and I expected an hour, that could be impacting costing, it's impacting scheduling, all that fun stuff. So I might want to actually just come in here and say, you know what, let's change that to a quarter hour instead, and you can make the units of measure thing visible and everything else. And again, that's done the same thing as what we saw on the multi-level BOM page. It's gone to this routing, it's put it under development, it's made that change, it's certified it. It's a very quick and easy way to adapt your routings to what you're actually seeing in the facility. Now this guy here is a little bit interesting because we're expecting 10 minutes or 10 hours or whatever this is. Again, you probably want to make the unit of measure field visible if you're using different units of measure, but we've got 10 hours here, let's say, for this particular activity. It's usually taking us about 9.5. That is pretty good, right? Like we're within a few percent of our expected time. I could absolutely live with that. But we have a much bigger issue here, and that's this column here, the standard deviation. So this is telling us, or giving us a measure of the variability within that process. And this is the number of sigmas. So this is like 8 sigmas. That's bad. Like we don't want that. Anything that's more than 1 probably is something you need to look at, because what that's telling me is every time I perform this activity, I'm entering a different time for it. So sometimes it might take me an hour, sometimes it might take me 20 hours, other times 12 hours. I have a high variability within this process. That's bad. You don't want that in manufacturing, right? You want things to run seamlessly regardless of who's doing it, whether it's Friday afternoon, Monday morning, or Wednesday afternoon. You want it to run in the same amount of time every single time. So even though we're saying, yeah, we're on average, we're pretty good, we're meeting our expected time, but in reality, when Joe does it, he does it in 10 minutes, and Fred does it in 2 hours, and Nancy does it in 6 hours, right? That's a big problem. So beyond just the actual times, we're also looking at the variability within that process as well. Okay, so this is a very, very handy screen, almost a must-have for anybody doing manufacturing and tracking their actual times against production, because this is, again, from a quality perspective and costing perspective, it's going to give you that measure of variability, and it's also going to help you significantly improve your scheduling and your capacity management and everything else by ensuring that your expected times match what it actually takes you to do in the shop floor.
Hey, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel for more great content.